Many of us ask ourselves the question over and over, who ratted Chris Watts out? Why and how did agents know where to look exactly? Was it NK giving bombshell information to the DA and ultimately leading investigators to the oil tanks? Or was it that someone got cold feet and led investigators out to Survey 319 before the mistress got the chance to tell her story? Troy McCoy, Chris Watts' co-worker and friend, was interviewed by CBI at the Anadarko offices on August the 15th, 2018 for the first time. In his interview, he states that everything was just normal and that they just met up at the Survey 319 to investigate and fix an oil leak. After that interview, Chris Ostrander came forward and told investigators that he had a strange encounter with one of Anadarko's oil field operators. Mr. Ostrander states that Troy McCoy arrived shortly after 2 p.m. on Tuesday, August the 14th, and proved that encounter by providing agents with his JSA document. The JSA document form was signed by Troy McCoy. When asked if it's normal that operators are present on site, Mr. Ostrander stated that he normally does not see anyone out there, but if there is someone, he lets the person present sign his JSA. Ostrander told agents that McCoy parked his truck close to the field, which is unusual. When McCoy approached Ostrander, he told him that he was looking for a lost crescent wrench in the area. Agents were immediately suspicious about McCoy and arranged a second interview with him. McCoy seemed very nervous and apologetic in the recorded interview all of a sudden. The interview took place on August the 17th, 2018. Agents did raise their concern and asked McCoy why he would withhold crucial information and why he would go out to Survey 319 again a day after the murders. Confronted with Mr. Ostrander's statement, McCoy told agents that he did not want to raise any suspicions, but that he had the feeling that something wasn't right, despite he said in his first interview that everything was just normal, and that he thought he can find something out there to, quote-unquote, give to investigators. McCoy also played a voicemail he had received from an officer wanting to speak with him on Tuesday the 14th while he was out on his way to Survey 319. The interviewing agents were baffled and did not know that someone from law enforcement had tried to contact McCoy on Tuesday. Now listen closely to what McCoy says in his interview.
Just one of these loose ends that we need to
No,
tie
and
up.
I understand that. That's why I said I had no problem to come down and talk to you.
Sure, no problem, and I appreciate that. And I think you pretty well told me that you recognized that something was wrong, and you put a few things together that's tripping your suspicion.
That's why one of the first things I brought up to you guys is, okay, we're at the 319. That was the site that I met him on. I got a map out my truck. Anything I can do to help. I went and got you guys a map so you guys could take pictures of it or whatever. You called me and asked if we'd go out to Survey Ranch together. I said, yes, sir.
Yep.
I didn't hesitate. And I drove straight from County Road 37 and 52, where I received your phone call, straight to Hudson and waited there for you until you guys arrived on location.
Yeah.
Because, I wanted to help.
Yeah. No, and
I didn't know it was going to turn out this way.
No, and I appreciate it.
We appreciate that.
But, and obviously you thought something was up because, that wasn't adding up.
Yeah, I pay attention to a lot of things.
After the second interview, McCoy called co-workers Parrish and McNeil, urging them to call CBI to report that Chris wore old work boots, even though he recently purchased new ones. Both of them called in to report exactly what McCoy told them to do. Why exactly was it so important for McCoy that he calls his co-workers, urging them to tell investigators about the old work boots? Was the reasoning behind that they thought law enforcement is going to take boot impressions on site and then they just get rid of the old work boots? So Watts could have said, it wasn't me out there. Look, I wear these boots. There are a few crucial things McCoy mentioned in his second interview that he couldn't possibly have known. The first strange thing McCoy mentioned was that, quote-unquote, you guys called me and asked me to go out survey, and I did. So when exactly was McCoy meeting up with agents to go out there showing them around? Nothing is mentioned about that meetup in the discovery. Unfortunately, we don't have the video recording for McCoy's second interview, but it is obvious that agents nodded their heads in agreement. The statement McCoy gives would definitely line up since law enforcement launched a drone at 3:27 p.m. on August the 15th, the same day McCoy gave his first interview. On another note, Troy's first interview was not recorded, or at least it wasn't released to us. Wonder why? I certainly do wonder why. What else was said in that interview, we do not know. Did they agree to go out there as McCoy states? One thing is for sure. When they launched the drone, they knew exactly where to look. If they did not have any information beforehand, why go up those tanks and take a look inside? Oh, and they went up there before the sheet in Shannon's shallow grave was even discovered. Another thing he mentioned was that Chris told him that morning that Shannon left her wedding ring on the counter. This information first surfaced after Officer Coonrod was called to the house to perform a welfare check, and McCoy states that he had not spoken to Watts after he left the oil site other than asking him if everything was okay, which leads me to another strange thing. They were together the whole morning, and McCoy states that Watts told him about the ring and their issues in their marriage. Why is he asking Watts if everything was okay after Watts already left the site to go home? You guys, if something doesn't feel right, most of the times it isn't. Thank you for watching.